Day 1. You open your eyes. The first thing you notice is the smell. Not sweat, not blood, not fear, though all of those are coming. The first smell is barley. Boiling barley. Thick and heavy. Drifting through the stone corridors of the ludus at dawn like a signal that another day has begun. You are a gladiator now. Not a warrior. Not a soldier. Not a hero. A product. And your first week inside the walls of a Roman gladiator school is about to teach you something that no history book has ever properly explained. This life, this brutal, extraordinary, terrifying life, was not chaos. It was a system, a precise, engineered, psychologically sophisticated system designed to turn human beings into the most dangerous entertainers the ancient world had ever seen. And by the end of this week, if you survive it, you will understand exactly how it worked. Day 1. Morning. You wake before dawn. Not because you want to, because the doctor, the training master, is already moving through the corridors. His footsteps are unhurried. He has done this 10,000 times. He does not need to shout. The sound of his sandals on stone is enough. You are sleeping on a reed mat, on the floor of a cell approximately 6 feet by 8 feet. Stone walls, iron grate for a door, a clay oil lamp that burned out hours ago. This is your room, your home, your cage. You share this building with perhaps 60 other men. Different sizes, different origins. Gauls and Germans and Thracians and Egyptians and men from places you have no name for. They speak languages you don't understand. They watch you with eyes that are calculating distance and weakness simultaneously. Everyone in this building is a professional at hurting people, including, eventually, you. The morning meal arrives before training. 2 guards carry clay pots down the corridor. They ladle the contents through the iron grate into your bowl. Barley porridge. Thick, dense, almost flavorless. With beans. Always beans. This is not poverty. This is nutrition science, ancient style. The gladiator diet was specifically engineered to build a particular kind of body. High in carbohydrates for sustained energy. High in protein from the legumes. And deliberately high in fat. The subcutaneous layer of fat that builds up from this diet acts as padding. It makes cuts look dramatic in the arena without immediately reaching muscle or organ. You eat because you were told to eat. And because today, your first real day of training, you are going to need every calorie. Day 1. Training. The training ground is a rectangle of packed earth open to the sky. In the center, a wooden post, 6 feet tall, driven into the ground. The Paulus. Every gladiator in the history of Rome began here. Julius Caesar's gladiators trained on a Paulus. The men who would die in the Colosseum trained on a Paulus. And now you. The doctor hands you a wooden sword. Heavy, deliberately heavier than a real gladius. The weight builds forearm strength and muscle memory simultaneously. He shows you the basic strike. Not a swing, not a slash, a thrust. Roman gladiatorial combat is not about swinging wildly. It is about precise, controlled, economical movement. Every motion has a purpose. Every step is calculated. The target is always specific: throat, armpit, groin. The places where armor gaps. The places where a single thrust ends a fight. You practice the thrust against the Paulus for 2 hours. Then you practice the defensive crouch. Shield up, body angled. Present the smallest possible target to your opponent. Then footwork. Move left, move right. Never cross your feet. Never give an opponent the angle he wants. By midday, your forearms are trembling. Your legs feel like wet clay. You have been practicing the same 3 movements for 4 hours, and you have not yet fought a single person. This is intentional. The Romans understood something about violence that most people don't. Real fighting skill is not about aggression. It is about repetition. The human body learns movement through thousands and thousands of repetitions until the motion becomes automatic. Until the body responds before the conscious mind has time to think. You are not learning to fight. You are being programmed. Day 2. Your body hurts in places you didn't know could hurt. The forearms. Expected. The calves. Expected. The small muscles along the spine that engaged every time you held the defensive crouch. Completely unexpected. The pain is specific and deep and moves with every breath. The doctor does not care. Training resumes at dawn. Today you are introduced to your weapon type. Because gladiators were not all the same. The gladiatorial system was built around specific fighting styles, each with its own armor, its own weapons, its own strengths and weaknesses. The heavily armored Secutor, full helmet, large shield, short sword. Maximum protection, minimum visibility. The Retiarius, almost no armor. A net, a trident, three-pronged, speed and reach instead of protection. The Thrax, curved blade called a Sika, small shield, designed for slashing attacks and close-quarters movement. The Murmillo, fish-crested helmet, large shield, medium armor. Each type was paired against a specific opponent in the arena. The Retiarius against the Secutor, net and trident against the armored chaser. The Thrax against the Murmillo, curved blade against straight. These were not random matchups. They were theater. Calculated dramatic pairings where the visual contrast between fighters told a story that 80,000 people in the stands could follow without narration. You are assigned a type based on your body. Taller fighters with longer reach, Retiarius. Shorter, more compact builds, Thrax or Murmillo. Exceptional speed, Secutor, because the heavy armor rewards those who can still move inside it. The doctor looks at you for approximately 3 seconds. He assigns your type. And from this moment forward, this is who you are. Not your name, not your history, not where you came from. Your fighting type, your new identity. Day 3. Something unexpected happens on day 3. The pain, the deep muscular pain of the first 2 days, begins to change. It does not disappear, but it relocates. The muscles that screamed are beginning to adapt. New muscles are engaging. The body is starting to understand what is being asked of it. This is the moment the doctor has been waiting for, because this is when real training begins. You are paired with another trainee for the first time. Wooden weapons, practice armor. The doctor stands close, watching everything, correcting everything. Your opponent is a Gaul, broad, heavy through the shoulders. He has been here 3 weeks longer than you, and it shows. The first exchange lasts approximately 4 seconds. You are on the ground before you understand what happened. The Gaul didn't hit you hard. He didn't need to. He stepped at an angle, just slightly outside your defense, and used your own forward momentum to take you off balance. You fell because you were leaning into the wrong foot. The doctor says nothing. He points at the paulus. You return to the wooden post and practice footwork for another hour. This is the loop of gladiator training. Fight, fail, analyze, practice, repeat. Not for days, not for weeks, for months, for years, for the entirety of a gladiatorial career. The men who survived longest in the arena were not the biggest or the strongest. They were the ones who had failed the most in training and learned from every failure. Day 3, evening. After training, medical inspection. This surprised you on day 1. It surprises visitors to this period of history consistently. The ludus had a medicus, a physician, not a field surgeon, a trained medical professional whose specific job was keeping gladiators healthy. Because gladiators were expensive, a trained gladiator represented months of feeding, housing, and instruction. The lanista, the school owner, had significant financial investment in each fighter. Dead gladiators before their arena debut were pure loss. So the medicus examined every fighter after every training session. Cuts were cleaned and dressed. Stress injuries were identified early and rested before they became permanent damage. Diet was adjusted for fighters showing signs of nutritional deficiency. The most famous gladiatorial physician in history was a man named Galen, who later became the personal physician of the Emperor Marcus Aurelius and one of the most influential medical figures in the ancient world. He learned medicine in a gladiator school, because a gladiator school in the 2nd century AD was one of the best places to study trauma medicine that existed anywhere. Tonight your hands are examined. The wooden sword grip has raised blisters along the palm and inside of the fingers. The medicus applies a salve, animal fat mixed with specific plant compounds. He wraps the hands in linen. Tomorrow you will train again. Day 4. The psychological aspect begins on day 4. You have been in the ludus for 4 days. You have not left. You have not seen anything beyond these walls. The outside world, the streets of Capua, the sound of a market, the smell of something other than barley and sweat, has faded from sensory memory. This is deliberate. The psychological architecture of the ludus was designed to do exactly what it was doing to you. Remove the outside world. Replace it with the world of the school. Your relationships, the ones that matter to your survival, are all inside these walls. The man who trains next to you at the paulus every morning. The medicus who treats your hands. The doctor who corrects your footwork. Your enemies, the men whose style you need to learn to counter, are also inside these walls. The ludus becomes the world, and inside that world, you are not who you were before. Your previous name was noted when you arrived, written in a ledger. Your gladiatorial name was given to you on day 2. Something theatrical, something that tells a story, a name that the crowd can chant, a name that sounds like what you do in the arena. The Romans understood branding 2,000 years before anyone invented the word. A gladiator's name was his identity, his reputation, his commercial value. Some gladiators became so famous, their names so recognized, that graffiti scratched on walls in Pompeii still survives with their names and ratings. Fan commentary, fight records, the ancient equivalent of a social media profile. By day 4, you are beginning to respond to your gladiatorial name. The old name is already fading. Day 5, you see the arena for the first time. Not to fight, to watch. The doctor brings a group of trainees to observe a local set of games. Smaller than the great events in Rome, but real. Real fighters, real crowd, real sand. You stand in the training area adjacent to the arena and look through an iron gate at the sand below. The crowd noise is something you were not prepared for. 80,000 people make a sound that you do not just hear. You feel it in your chest, in your teeth, in the base of your skull. It is less like a sound and more like a weather event, something atmospheric, something that changes the air pressure around you. 2 fighters enter the arena, a retiarius and a secutor. You have been training as one of these types. You have practiced these movements against the Paulus for 5 days. You know what these techniques look like from the inside. Watching them from outside is completely different. The speed is the first thing. Training at moderate pace in the ludus, controlled, corrective, does not prepare you for the speed of actual competition. These men move at a pace that looks almost inhuman. The retiarius casts his net in a motion so fast it seems to happen between eyelids. The secutor deflects it without looking. His shield arm moves automatically. The same automatic response that your own training has been trying to build in your body. The fight lasts approximately 4 minutes. The secutor takes a trident strike to the shoulder, not deep, not dangerous, but enough for the crowd to scream. The retiarius controls the distance for another minute. Then he makes a small error. His left foot crosses over his right, and the secutor closes the distance in a single explosive step. The retiarius goes down. The crowd, that massive atmospheric event, changes frequency, from roar to something more complex. A conversation between 80,000 people happening simultaneously. The secutor looks to the crowd, then to the editor, the sponsor of the games, the man who decides fate. The editor looks at the crowd. The crowd signals. The retiarius lives. He stands. He walks from the arena with blood running down one leg. He will be back in the ludus by tonight. The medicus will treat the wound. He will train again in a week. This is not a death sentence. This is a profession. Day 6. The thing nobody tells you about gladiatorial life, the thing that every modern depiction gets completely wrong, is the waiting. The waiting is the hardest part. You train. You eat. You sleep. You train again. Day after day after day. The actual arena appearances, the moments of genuine mortal danger, happen rarely. Once a month at most for established fighters. Sometimes less. Most of gladiatorial life is exactly what you have experienced in this ludus for 6 days. Repetition, routine, controlled environment. And in that controlled environment, in the space between training sessions and meals and medical inspections, you have nothing to do but think. Think about the arena. Think about the fighter you will face. Think about the crowd noise you felt in your chest yesterday. Think about the retiarius walking off that sand with blood running down his leg. Think about whether you are good enough. Think about whether good enough is enough. This psychological pressure, this constant low-level awareness of what is coming, is something the gladiatorial system never tried to eliminate, because it made better fighters. A fighter who has internalized the reality of what the arena means trains differently than one who hasn't. The fear is a tool. The doctor knows this. The lanista knows this. The system was built around this. Your fear is being used. Day 7. Final day. Morning training. Same as every morning. Paulus. Footwork. Paired practice against your Gallic training partner who still puts you on the ground regularly, but less often than he did on day 3. Progress is real. After training, the doctor calls you to the center of the training ground. He watches you run through your basic movements. Thrust. Defend. footwork sequence. He says nothing. His face gives nothing away. Then he nods. One small nod. This is the highest praise you will receive from the doctor. It means you are not dead yet. It means you might survive your first appearance. It means the system has taken hold. Because that is what this week has actually been. Not combat training. Not physical conditioning. Though it is both of those things. It is the beginning of a transformation. The gladiatorial system was the ancient world's most sophisticated attempt to engineer a human being for a specific purpose. Strip away identity. Build a new one. Create physical capability through precise repetition. Manage fear through routine. Make the arena, the most terrifying environment imaginable, feel like the logical conclusion of everything you have been doing. By the end of your first week, you are not the person who walked through that gate. You eat differently. You move differently. You sleep differently. You notice things about the people around you, weight distribution, dominant hand, breathing patterns, that you would never have registered before. The system is inside you now, and the arena is waiting. So here is what 1 week as a Roman gladiator actually teaches you. It teaches you that the most dangerous thing about the gladiatorial system was not the fighting. It was the engineering. Rome did not find violent men and put them in an arena. Rome took ordinary men, farmers, prisoners, the desperate and the defeated, and built something extraordinary from them through a system so precise, so psychologically sophisticated, so carefully maintained that it produced fighters who became the celebrities of the ancient world. Men who were property, men who had been stripped of everything, and who, through the system, became famous, admired, tattooed on pottery, and painted on walls, beloved by the same crowds who had come to watch them die. That is the darkest and most fascinating truth about gladiatorial Rome. The system didn't just make fighters. It made people who wanted to fight, who trained for years for the chance to step onto that sand, who, some of them, turned down offers of freedom because the arena was the only place they had ever truly existed. So here's my question for you. After 1 week, after the barley and the paulus and the doctor and the crowd noise in your chest, would you have wanted to stay? Not because you had to, because the system had made you into something that only made sense inside it. Leave your answer in the comments. Because this question, about identity and systems and what happens when something built to control you becomes the thing you are, is older than Rome. And next, we are staying inside Rome, but we are moving from the arena to the streets. Because while gladiators were training inside the ludus walls, outside those walls, in the city of Rome itself, 1 million people were living lives that were just as brutal, just as strange, and just as systematically controlled. What was it actually like to walk the streets of ancient Rome at night? What happened after dark in the most powerful city on earth? The answer involves fire, crime, darkness, and a city that was, after sunset, one of the most dangerous places in the ancient world. That video is coming.